Despite their billing as pre-season favourites, Bradford's promotion push just hasn't got started. City were coming off 3 straight defeats in League and Cup. In contrast, Port Vale have enjoyed a far happier opening to their campaign. With Justin Richards in fine form, the visitors were always a threat. But it was his namesake, Mark Richards, who eventually put Vale in front in the 32nd minute. The former Barnsley striker fired home his 4th of the season in all competitions. Moments later, Vale would deny what they thought was a clear penalty when Gary Roberts went down under Luke O'Brien's challenge. But the young referee David Coote called it correctly by awarding them a free kick just outside the box. Jack Spate was a rare Bantam's bright spot. The Bradford number 10 almost teased John McComb into a comedy own goal as half-time approached. But Vale somehow held on to their slender lead. City's 3rd successive league defeat was confirmed when Tom Doherty's kamikaze lob put keeper John McLaughlin under impossible pressure. Against the run of play, the visitors' Justin Richards made it safe for Vale on 75 minutes, with this his 5th goal of the season. The former Cheltenham man struck for the 4th time in his last 3 appearances against Bradford. Very little has gone right for the Bantams in recent weeks. A point emphasised when Spate failed to convert a golden opportunity late on in the match. That's now 3 away league wins out of 3 for Mickey Adams' team. His counterpart Peter Taylor is feeling the pressure and already pleading for patience.
Buoyed by their win at Macclesfield last time out, Stockport were looking to heap more misery on lowly Bradford, who had lost their last 4 competitive games. The previous week's victory was County's 1st since February, and they made a confident start to this match too. Jamie Vincent tested John McLaughlin. Stockport were the better side throughout the opening period. Their main threat came from George Donnelly, who fired just wide, having got away with a possible handball before the shot. As the rain came pouring down, the Hatters continued to keep Bradford on the back foot. Adam Griffin tried his luck from distance. Yet despite making most of the running, Stockport fell behind shortly before the hour mark. Jake Spate set up a first ever league goal for young midfielder Dave Sayers. Fortunately for Stockport, they were saved by Donnelly with only 12 minutes of the match remaining. The Plymouth Lownies' 4th goal of the campaign was also County's 1st at home this season. Bradford was still hopeful of claiming a much-needed victory, but after Tommy Doherty's drive, it was Stockport who came closest to securing maximum points. As in the dying stages of the match, County almost won it through Paul Turnbull. The Bantams were mighty relieved to see his shot go whistling past the post. 1-1 the final score then at Edgeley Park, as Peter Taylor's Bradford finally brought their losing streak to an end.
Bradford began the day 3rd from bottom in League 2. The struggling Bantams came into this fixture without a win in 5 competitive games. It's been 16 months since Gillingham's last away win, and the visitors struggled to create any chances of note in the early stages. Bradford stood firm, and it was the hosts who almost took the lead at the other end through Luke Oliver. Lance Cronin, though, did just enough to put off the giant Bradford defender. Oliver made his presence felt in the opponent's box once again before half-time. Luke O'Brien supplied the cross for the former Wycombe man, who failed to get his header on target though. Gillingham gradually got themselves into the game and ended the opening period on the front foot. Cody MacDonald came close to his first goal since his move on loan from Norwich. Shane Duff made the all-important block. The visitors continued to impress, and they were denied a penalty before the interval. Referee Oliver Langford saw nothing wrong with Lewis Hunt's challenge on Mark Bentley. Bradford introduced Lee Hendry in the second half, and the 33-year-old came close to a debut goal for the Bantams. Another City substitute, Leon Osborne, was also presented with a gilt-edged opportunity to open the scoring. Once again, though, the chance went begging. Indeed, the match seemed to be heading for a goalless draw, but in the second minute of stoppage time, up popped Steve Williams to claim Bradford's winner. The defender scoring his first goal since a 1-0 win at Darlington in December of last year. Gareth Evans might have added to City's winning margin, but Williams' goal ultimately proved enough to end a run of 3 successive home defeats for Peter Taylor's team, who claimed their first win in 6 competitive outings.
After Northampton's famous Carling Cup win away to Liverpool, it was back to Sixfields and the fight for league points for Ian Sampson's Giant Killers. They faced a Bradford side who hadn't won away since the tail end of last season, but City had the game's first real effort on goal. Lewis Moult denied by goalkeeper Chris Dunn. Kevin Thornton then tried his luck via a free kick as the Cobblers began to take control. Another Thornton strike brought the first half to a close, but after the break was where the game was won. The home side went ahead just after the hour mark through Billy Mackay. It won't live quite as long in the memories his goal at Anfield. It was good enough though to see off disappointing Bradford. The Cobblers sealed their win by adding a second goal. Ben Tozer made his debut at Liverpool, and the youngster on loan from Newcastle scored the clincher 9 minutes from time. Northampton claimed their first win at home to Bradford in 32 years. The Cobblers stay unbeaten at Sixfields this season and still clearly have their feet firmly on the ground.
So Ian, is this the best week of your football career?
Well, we've had two wins in a week, which is I've done before. So I suppose that the nature of the opposition, Liverpool away, and then Bradford, who probably were one of the tips to go up this year. Yeah, you could argue the fact that I think it's probably the best week.
Bradford arrived at the Don Valley Stadium for a Yorkshire derby, hoping to upset the form book against high-flying Rotherham. Bradford have struggled so far this campaign and were in desperate need of something against their local rivals. It was the hosts who looked the brightest from the kick-off though, as Rotherham looked to continue their impressive start to the season. Jason Taylor firing just wide. Whilst the visitors were up against it for much of the first half, there were signs to trouble the Millers. Omar Daly forcing a good save from Andy Warrington in the Rotherham goal. After the break, and Daly continued to fly the Bradford flag. The Jamaican midfielder again with the strike, this time unable to find the target. The Bantams sensed there were points up for grabs in this one and began to turn the screw. The hosts failed to clear, and Tom Adeyemi tried his luck from range. Warrington had to be at his best to keep the sides level. Adeyemi was again involved as he burst into the Rotherham box whilst the home side sat back. Despite the visitors' appeals for a penalty, the referee waved play on. The hosts were clearly rattled, Bradford looking dangerous, and when it broke to Gareth Evans they must have thought they'd taken the lead. Warrington denied them again. Another corner and yet more pressure from the visitors. Rotherham still unable to clear their lines, and the Millers' backline grateful to see this one flash wide. Another ball into the box and more last-stitch defending. Ronnie Moore's men were hanging on. Bradford were beginning to worry that these chances weren't being taken. Rotherham had weathered the storm and looked to sneak the opener themselves. The hosts turn now to pepper the box, but efforts on target were at a premium. Testing high balls were definitely the order of the day, but Kevin Ellison's whipped ball in could not find a way through for the home team. Positive signs for Bradford after a 0-0 draw.